Topping today's news, the youth of the nation took back the streets today with a peace march and rally. More obstacles in the way of the Transitional Council for Haiti. We get an update on Shanty town demolition exercises and a man shot and killed off Fire Trail Road Thursday night. Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Dorino Saunders. This is your JCN Evening News, and it is a pleasure to have you join us. Thousands of school children took over the streets of the capital today with a peace march and rally in the face of ongoing violence in the country that is having a negative impact on the lives of the nation's children. The rally, hosted by the Ministry of Education, featured approximately 7,000 students around the country that marched. Well, here in the capital, they marched from the Southern Recreation Grounds to Clifford Park for a series of events dominated by young speakers from the various high schools, focusing on conflict resolution. The Minister of Education, Glennis Hannah Martin, and the Minister of National Security, Wayne Munro, were also in attendance. We will have much more on today's march and rally in a later report. Following their in-person meeting in Kingston, Jamaica on Monday, CARICOM leaders, including Prime Minister Philip Davis, have been working virtually to form a transitional presidential council to bring about free and fair elections in Haiti. But will it work? There are many who say it will not, including a former Foreign Affairs Minister for Haiti. Speaking from a location outside Port-au-Prince and on the conditions of anonymity, the Haitian politician said the CARICOM deal calling for the establishment of a 9-man transitional presidential council is not going to work because there is no way that that council can be neutral, and Haitian politicians will likely not agree with it. Additionally, there is no constitutional provision or mechanism in Haiti for the appointment of a 9-member presidential council. For more information on this exclusive story, get a copy of today's Bahama Journal newspaper. It is on the streets now. Illegal structures in unregulated communities throughout the country are a danger to the Bahamas. This according to Clay Sweeting, the Minister of Public Works and Family Island Affairs. He said this during the weekly Office of the Prime Minister press briefing on Thursday. He reminded that unregulated communities create environmental health and safety concerns, and as a result, the demolition exercises will continue because the government's mandate is to ensure the safety and welfare of its citizens and lawful residents.
The decision to tackle these unregulated communities may be uncomfortable and a tough pill to swallow for some, especially those who may have to vacate these shanty towns. But this Davis administration is committed to tackling this vaccine issue. It is the right thing to do. To date, nearly 300 illegal structures have been demolished across New Providence and Abaco. The task force is traveling to Eleuthera next week to conduct investigations into shanty towns on that island. The team has already completed an initial assessment on the island and are moving into the second phase of the process. So over the course of the next few months, the team will ensure that these areas are monitored to prevent reoccupation.
Minister Sweeting wanted to make it clear that the government is not only targeting foreign migrants, but anyone who builds outside the scope of the national building codes.
Now let me just say here that the focus is not solely on shanty towns occupied by foreign migrants, and in some cases also Bahamians. But the Building Control Department within the Ministry of Works and Family Island Affairs will be going after all unregulated structures, which means all buildings that have not been approved by the Ministry of Works.
And finally, in this segment, the demolition of dilapidated downtown buildings as part of the effort to revitalize the dead zone that exists on Bay Street east of E Street is set to continue, according to Keishla Adderley, Acting Press Secretary in the Office of the Prime Minister.
Of course, that's a project which has begun as the Ministry of Tourism looks to tidy up the look of Bay Street, particularly that eastern end of Bay Street where there are a number of derelict buildings. I can tell you that another demolition is scheduled for the coming days. That is a 2-story building on the eastern end of Bay Street on the southern side of the street. That will be demolished in the coming days. And just as was the case with other buildings which were demolished, the cost will be applied to the owner of the building, and there will be no cost to the government of the Bahamas.
There were 6 dilapidated buildings demolished last year in the downtown area, with more scheduled to be demolished this year, an initiative that is supported by the new Nassau Cruise Port that also wants to see downtown Nassau revitalized. We'll take a break here. We'll be right back after these commercials.